Recorded on lunch, for lunch, you are listening to The Nooner with Adam and Luke, presented by Opinions Anonymous.
Computer, I think we're live. A whole bunch of stuff that you may or may not use, aren't it? You ready? Everything's professional until that. You know that. Okay. Yeah, I think I might be upgrading our logo.
We're rebranding again.
No, I'm just bored. Are you ready? Let's talk. Yeah, ready. Okay. Hello and welcome to Opinions Anonymous. We're back to the Nooner.
We're back to the
Nooner with Adam and Luke, building a little bit off of what we did last time, talking about the origin, but today we're going to talk about some of our old segments, some of our rebrands, and some of kind of how maybe this all started before the podcast. So first, thinking about some of our old segments, we talked a little bit about food facts. Definitely not a fact. It's fiction. And the old one. So I wrote down some of these, but what are some of your memories of segments that we had on the podcast? Favorites, least favorites, just in general.
Well, least favorite would date back to the original best podcast you've never heard, Andy's segment.
Yes, of course. The best segment you've ever heard.
Yes, it was a chance to everybody go use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, Andy does what he does best and kind of rambles on about something that means nothing to the rest of us.
So we kind of tried to all have our own, and Andy took up 30 minutes every time he had a segment.
He does talk.
He talks, and it was about something that we generally didn't
He's very passionate about.
didn't care about.
We definitely probably put more work into those segments than we did our segments. He's also single and only has a cat.
Right, yeah. I think he has maybe 2 and maybe a dog hat. So that was definitely one. There was Luke's movie reviews, which is kind of a spin-off now too. I've always tried to do the movie reviews. And then do you remember when we had a very brief stint where we had the Opinions Anonymous Movie Club?
We did.
Where everybody was supposed to watch a movie and rate it. And we're going to have a giant grid. And
did anybody ever do one?
I don't think anybody. Do you remember the first movie that we watched?
No.
I think it was Triangle.
I watched that.
Yeah, I think everybody watched the first one and then got mad that they had to watch the first one.
That movie just had no closure.
No, it's just a circle.
And
It's weird for the fun.
But my issue, I think that is the issue, is that one's, I think, because it was obviously your pick, because no one else had ever heard of it. I watched it with my wife and I think one of her friends. And at the end, you're just kind of mad you watched it because it gives you nothing.
Yeah.
Good movie until the end.
Yeah, and then we had where you would give me movies to watch, which maybe, I don't know if that was before or after, but you would assign me a movie.
Yes, that was before, and the one you just never did was actually a good movie, right? Did you go back and watch it later?
It was not a good movie. It was a popular one, a heist movie.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. Money Heist?
No.
It was a heist movie that I thought would be...
It was too long.
It was supposed to be a good movie. However, what were the other ones I gave you for that one?
You gave me Blues Brothers, right?
Nope. Definitely not.
Caddyshack.
Give you Caddyshack, which you were glad you watched.
Yeah.
Cult classic. Probably not ever going to be on your rewatch list.
No, but I was fine with that. You started giving me some old ones that I'd never seen.
Did I give you My Cousin Vinny?
I think I'd seen that one.
Okay. That's one of the...
But maybe that's where I got Blues Brothers.
Maybe. That's one of the all-time
best. So yeah, we had that. We had the original Best Bets where you and I would pick a game. We would record on Wednesdays, try to pick
the following
Monday game so that we could release it on the weekend. And
I don't know that we were did we take opposites or did we just pick freely?
We just picked freely, and it was just straight up because the lines were never out. It was really hard to do.
NBA is difficult anyway because you don't
Yeah.
usually get a solid line until day of, maybe day before.
But this is where we had, you and I would pick, and then Aaron started picking, maybe rookie, and we had our records on the website, which is kind of fun. And then we tried to do like hockey, and
I think we started at a bad time.
Yeah.
Where it was, I think football was over. We had basically NFL and NHL and
maybe MLB.
not NFL, NBA. Yeah, then maybe MLB starting.
Yeah, it was bad, which jumped into, I think when we were trying to figure out bets, jumped into Kyle's Money Shot.
Yes.
Which is a short-lived segment that was fun. Kyle did some videos that are still up on YouTube, but Kyle would give you the slate to bet the weekend, and he did lines and everything.
Yes.
So he kind of did it live, or like a Friday night for Saturday and Sunday games. So we had that one. What else do you remember?
Other segments. Didn't we try fashion something or other?
That
might have
lasted
ended up on the cutting room
Yeah.
floor too. I'm not sure that even went into an episode. That was not good.
Man, I think we did try fashion. It was something about a sweater, cardigan.
Maybe I don't remember what it was, but it was.
That might have been one of the first 3 episodes that never.
Like I said, I think it's one that never came out.
Never came
because
out.
I was asked the question. I think I jumbled over an awful answer.
Oh, I think you're right.
And I think that's maybe the primary reason why I can never release those first 3.
We debated a Dear Adam segment instead of Dear Abby.
Yes.
That never
I don't
never
think we
came
did
out.
one.
No. I think that's how the fashion came about, because we were going to do dating advice, and we
Realized that we were both married and nothing good was going to come from it.
that could have been it. You mentioned this last time. We had the cryptids.
Yes, there's just not enough recent cryptid news coming out.
We did the Giants tournament of cryptids. You remember doing that?
Yes.
Where we had
Did we all do that?
Might have just been you and I. We each had 4 or 8 cryptids, and we battled it out to a final, and then we let my dad pick.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's.
Boy, we really were all over the map.
Yeah. We had drinks and drafts. That was rookies, where he would try a horrible beer and then give it an 8.3.
Yeah. I was awful. 8.6.
It's like, what is your scale? Yeah. That one was also short-lived. I think one that you and I both really liked doing that we still was the grand finale.
Yes.
So every week we would go back and forth, quick whips, have
just
4
or 5 each, and just back and forth. There was no responses, just basically statements.
Yeah. And then we tried golf, tried fantasy football, we tried NCAA. There were 2 years in a row we had the NCAA March Madness special, I think.
Yes, and then last year it wasn't really an option.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there wasn't one.
Yeah. Got cut out.
I'm not sure. Surely we would have done it.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
Done it for sure.
Those are really the segments I had. Do you remember any other?
I don't think any other. Do we remember what brought Other Luke in? Was that a segment? Was that a one-time?
So I remember vividly how he got his name, Other Luke, is because we had an email from Luke, and you made fun of me for emailing into the show myself. And I had to say Other Luke, and then that kind of stuck. I don't know. We actually talked about this on Happy Half Hour because we have Tyler doing that with us now. And really, when we have a fan, we just try to keep them involved. So we invite them onto the show, and then they just stick.
That's what I was going to say. Is every time somebody actually writes in, we just bring them in.
We just invite them on.
So then we have no one emailing.
Yeah. So Happy Half Hour, which is going on now, we have the Nooner, which are kind of spinoffs. For a while, there was the Sports Report. You remember Joe, Alex, and I did the Sports Report?
I remember you guys when you did it in the Dominican.
Yeah, and that was the end of it because it got pretty ugly.
We tried. We tried to, like we talked about in the last episode, is we tried to bring more people in and everybody kind of have their own.
And it lasts for a little bit.
Did it? And I'm probably one of the main culprits. I mean, I don't openly admit that I'm awful about follow through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think besides you, nothing, if you weren't on it or involved in it, it kind of just didn't get done.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of still rings true to
It does, yeah. OA Sports. Remember that? We have some fun videos on YouTube, a couple at least, 2 or 3.
Yeah, OA Sports. I think that could have been a lot of fun had we not had to compete and operate the camera.
Yes. So if you are watching this and want to be our cameraman,
Yes.
we are willing to pay upwards of $8
$8
a day,
not
a year,
an hour.
a
Yes.
year. Yeah, it was really hard. So we play a round of golf, and it's just every time you get out and you have to pull out the camera, and then you have to swap out the camera,
And honestly, we get more annoyed because
it throws you out of your game.
yeah, because you were trying to actually play a good round, and we're bouncing back and forth between filming and playing, and it's just it gets a lot.
I would say that putt-putt was okay with it.
Yes.
Real golf, incredibly difficult.
Yes.
Disc golf, do we put that one on YouTube?
I hope not.
We have it if not.
Yeah, we still
It
haven't
was
recovered any of those discs.
still a little hard. Great idea. We'd love to do more of that.
What
but
we basically need is our kids to get to the age where they can
Yeah.
video it for
I
us.
think it's fun to hang out with us.
Yes. So we'll have a small window. You'll have more luck with the boys than I will with the
Yeah.
girls.
Or we'll be doing water polo or something that they enjoy watching. See, those were some of the segments and spin-offs that we did. Any other spin-offs you can think of that I...
You know, you mentioned the golf one, which was a great follow through by, was that
Joey and Joe, yeah, that lasted maybe an episode.
I don't know if they did one.
They did one, I think, on all the rule changes.
Yes, I don't know if we've actually, I think that's it. I think that's all the spinoffs we kind of had. We tried a lot of different stuff.
Blodgett had a fantasy football segment.
Yeah, which did he do one of
I
those?
did a couple, but it was just a scripted. He would just power through it, which it's hard to do.
You gotta have a little bit of conversation, a little back and forth. If he's doing it by himself, I kind of get that too. You kind of want to elaborate a little bit on things.
Yeah. But as we were talking last time after we got done recording, we really came up with maybe the idea that started everything, that stupidity that we would do. I think part of this is that when we have an idea, I become overly obsessed immediately.
Yes.
But it started out as a gag between you and I picking the NCAA bracket, right? Was the very first one.
Wasn't that? Yes.
Or it was either that or NFL football. I can't remember. I almost feel like it was NFL, just me versus you, because then it was so fun. We turned around on the heels and did the NCAA bracket.
I think you're right. It definitely, yes, it didn't start with the Street for the Cash.
No. It started as, I think we picked the NFL games against the spread, me versus you.
Yes.
And we said the loser, we were thinking of those fun groups where the loser has to get a tattoo, and I wasn't going to do that. They have to be pegged with tomatoes, and neither one of us were going to do it. So we said the loser has to buy the winner a trophy.
Yes.
Because we want, money's fine, but something that was a little more meaningful.
Yeah. And meaningful and just silly.
Yeah, we wanted to have fun with it. So loser has to buy the winner a trophy. So we did the entire NFL season. It was close, if I recall.
Yeah, I think for the most part, everything was close in the beginning.
Yeah. And so I won that. We had so much fun. You bought me a trophy so you had to pick the first trophy. You had to go about finding out what to do. And how'd you find the trophy?
I think I just had to Google, trophy, and then I found a website. I don't remember what the name of the website was, even though I bought a ton of trophies from them. And then you just have to pick, I think the first one was just a generic.
Had a football on it.
Yeah, I had a football because that's what it was for. And then it served its purpose because it's demoralizing having to order somebody a trophy that stands about this tall, plastic.
And we probably never paid with shipping more than $20. I mean, they're $7 trophies, $10 shipping or something like that. Something stupid,
Pay more for the shipping.
Yeah. So then we did the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
Which I think came down to the wire as well.
Yes.
And I won that. So I was on a high. And then from there, I think somehow we jumped into Streak for the Cash.
We did, and I don't remember why we did. I know it had to do with we were looking for something else to do, but at that point, all you have is NBA, which is getting close to the playoffs,
Right.
and you have baseball, MLB,
Yeah.
which neither of us really know enough about year in, year out to make any sort of picks. And it was at that point, season had started.
Right.
So it was once again, you weren't picking the whole thing. And do you really want to sit and pick 182 games?
Yeah, which maybe we'll get to us trying stupid things there where we try to pick every single NBA game. But Streak for the Cash had, I feel like when we started, a dozen props a day, right? So
Yeah, a dozen or more probably.
yeah, and then so we first started and we said we'll pick 3 different picks a day,
Yes.
and then if we both get our 3 in, we'll text each other and do more.
Yeah.
And at the end of the month, it came down to what, 90 some picks, and we're like, why don't we just pick 100, any 100? So you pick 100 picks a day, and whoever gets the most right wins.
Right. Which you won the first one.
I did because I was like 3 in a row, and then to be honest, we have an entire I have to find it but of every month that we did. But then it gained a little traction. It was fun, and we were talking about it. And still, loser would buy the winner a trophy every month.
Yes.
And we got up to what, like 12 people? I feel like
At one point, yeah, we were definitely in the double digits.
Yeah.
We just kept adding people, and we would do. It was still the same every month. You did the 100, but we would add things in. So if NFL Pick'em was coming, we would do NFL Pick'em. We would do elimination.
Yes. We had a fantasy football
We had
league.
fantasy football, and they all revolved around these stupid plastic trophies.
Yes,
And we would do each golf major. You would do that, and you would pick the winners.
golf majors. Yeah,
Because then we were looking for the career
we
grand
were trying to
slam.
get it. And I will say that by the time this is all done, I had 15 of these stupid things, 15 or 20.
Yeah, I had less than that, but I still had a few.
But so this took off. Then we did the live event, which was maybe one of the most fun things that we ever
Was
did.
that the
The
bowling?
Shelbyville Bowling Alley,
Yeah.
where they had the bar. The trophy for that one was a bowling pin.
Bowling pin.
And I think we had
We had a
medals.
Yeah, we had a medal.
We live tweeted it. We had a Twitter page that was, when Aaron was in charge, it was fun for a minute. Then he would tweet once a week, and it would be really funny, but it would never gain traction. But yeah, the golf majors, that was always crazy because you were, like you said, you're trying to get the career.
You want the career grand slam, you only get every opportunity every so often.
For me, those are probably the ones I wanted to win the most.
Yeah.
Trying to win 2 months in a row on Streak for the Cash. And then Streak for the Cash, when we got it to 10 people or whatever, it was so predictable. So, you would be able to go and you would look and everybody would just be on the same page.
Same one. They're taking, because everybody's looking at the percentages.
Everybody looked at the percentages. That drove me nuts and I hated it. And I was on a streak for a while where I won like 3 or 4 months, was doing great. And then I think the person who ruins everything, Joey, came in, just picked percentages and would win, and it would just piss me off to no other.
That's what Joey does.
But I mean, we did that forever, probably for a solid 2 years, and people came, people left. We had kind of a core group that.
We probably had, once added, I think only probably 2 or 3 people dropped out.
Yeah. But then you'd run into an issue where somebody wouldn't buy somebody a trophy.
Yeah, that became an issue.
And we had people that we didn't really know.
We had a couple that got in via somebody else that not a lot of people knew.
Yeah.
And that caused issues.
Oh, we had a website with a picture of every trophy. I'd do write-ups at the end of the month.
Yep.
That's me just taking it way over.
We had a record book. We had the most wins, the longest streak, fewest wins.
Yeah.
Most month wins, biggest winning margin. I think we had all of this stuff.
Yeah. That's my dad was in then we had the FedEx Points Cup, standings.
FedEx Points Cup.
To where you get the inverse of how many people were in the event. So if it was a golf event, there was only 6 people. If you won, you got 6 points. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If it's a month and there's 10 people, you win, you get 10 points, 9, 8. So we had a huge, that race always came down to a pretty interesting last month.
Yeah, I think we only did that one.
Well, we had one really good year.
Yeah.
So we started it late Well, you and I did it in the very beginning. So we did those first two.
Yeah.
We started doing the streak. It was building up, had huge momentum going into the year end. And then our live event was on like January 2nd.
Yeah, it was kind of around Christmas.
Yeah.
Type thing. Yep.
And so then we had that one full year. By the end of the year, it was kind of fading out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we did it maybe half the next year.
Probably February, March, people started dropping.
So it was probably a 2-year thing that was pretty strong in, like a 2-year period.
And I think one of the biggest issues was at the end, they did away with their app.
Yeah.
And you had to start picking everything on just the ESPN app.
Yes. Yeah. Because there was a Streak for the Cash app that was great.
You had to pick everything on the fantasy app. And that just got confusing. One thing you're forgetting to mention is the live golf event. Do you remember that?
Was it just the 4 of us?
No, there was several people playing.
Oh, it snowed. I did forget the live. So we had it planned.
You won that, didn't you?
I won it, yeah.
Because it was handicapped.
It was handicapped. We only played 6 holes, I think.
I thought we played 18.
Oh, no.
6 at a time.
No, I don't think we played the full 18, but I think we played like 12 or something.
Whatever
it was so cold.
It was so cold. We had to wait for the frost to melt off the greens before we could go out.
We got there and the person inside us, they're like, hey, what's going on? We're like, we're playing golf. And he's like, no, you're not, you idiots. And we're like, yeah, we're here to play golf. And he didn't believe it. We had to wait for Joey to get there because I think Joey still worked there and he was the only one that could talk some sense in. But we had to wait for the frost to get off the green. It was so cold. There were a decent amount of us, 8 maybe?
I think we probably had 8 or 10 people.
Yeah, but I forgot that.
Snowed off and on.
I played so well. This is back when I was not a good golfer, so I had probably one of the higher handicaps. And I played really well, and then since it was handicapped, I did end up winning. I cannot remember what we did, or we had teams, and you would get team points.
Team points, and I think we might have gone to, I don't know if there was any individual. There had to be at least individual something.
Yeah.
But I remember, man, it was...
That's a good...
It was a full day, too, because we got there, we had to wait X amount of time.
We were going to play at 10, and we couldn't, so we didn't start till like 11:30, 12. Yeah.
And then it was just slow moving because you couldn't get off the cart path, and
muddy.
Yeah, it was awful conditions.
Yeah. Good memory there. That was a good one. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun playing those.
You almost wonder if we tried to do it again today, if we would have any sort of luck.
Yeah, I don't know. We should start a podcast. Maybe
that will help get people into it.
It was fun. It was incredibly fun. I think everybody did it. I know Joe took his trophies to work and put them on his desk when he was a banker and said it was a conversation starter. I had a mantle full of them. I think I did get rid of them. I took some pictures before I did it, but in my last move, I purged them.
I probably still have them in a box somewhere. I mean, unless that box wasn't purged. It's hard
and then, so what I thought you were going with, we tried to start a golf league, which was incredibly fun.
Yes.
Just so hard to get together with you and I having kids, and we would try and living an hour apart, trying to find somewhere to go. But we did play a couple good rounds of golf.
We probably had a 3-month stretch where that worked. Yeah. We did 2 different courses a month, and we would try to pick one closer to you and one closer to where I was living.
So this was the same thing. We started it in like September one year, and we had great success. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we created an entire schedule for the next year. 2 tournaments a month, I think, and then majors. Some months had 3, and March came and it was just shitty weather.
Yeah, so we basically couldn't play in March. Yeah. April we
were already demoralized. We were behind. Yeah. Maybe some of us got one tournament in, couldn't get the other one in. It fell apart pretty quickly.
That's what it turned into. I think that could still probably be done. We just have to, I think, be more realistic about the schedule, especially is.
But we did play some fun courses that I still only played once.
Yeah, so we did a good job playing the courses that were scheduled the first couple of months.
Yeah,
which was right towards the end of the season. But yeah, it got us out there. You get to play different courses that you probably wouldn't have played otherwise.
And I think it would be really fun to do now that we're a little bit better at golf, because I was definitely shooting like 107, 108.
I do remember that.
I mean, it was almost miserable to do, but I was just not hitting the ball. Well, it's horrible golf then. Not that I'm great now.
Breaking
but
100 was, you might win the week.
Exactly. Yeah. We had money list there where I think everybody
There
put in
was
$5 and it
blinds.
was blinds and you give money for winning. We have a lot of good ideas. We just
Follow through just as.
we don't know how to execute.
Yeah, but I think it's like it boils down to, I mean, we have day jobs, obviously. This isn't making any money. We have,
Donate.
we have kids.
Yeah.
We have all this other stuff. We have lives, not not much
Not
of
great
lives.
ones.
We have
but we have lives.
So just fitting this kind of stuff in, I mean, it just gets kind of difficult.
So last thing here before we go, it's January 4th.
Yes.
We were talking the other day about New Year's traditions. Any memorable New Year's traditions or New Year's Eve, New Year's Day that you want to bring up?
Well, the one that you and I talked about, I think got this whole thing going, is my family. It probably started when I was in junior high. We would go January 1st, you went to the mall, you went shopping, you got your Christmas money, you went to spend it. And that turned into, it was a lot of fun. And then eventually you started going every year because your parents didn't go to the mall.
Right.
So anytime we would go, you would come along. And that was fun. It was different. The mall was never busy because most people are still drunk from the night before. They still open normal time. You get all your stuff done, you go have lunch, and you're still home at a decent time.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I essentially lived with you for all of Christmas break. I would go home for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day maybe. And I remember New Year's Eve, we would always try to watch movies. I would be wanting to fall asleep at 8. I would try to stay up a little later. And then I think New Year's Day, I was always just so damn tired trying to stay up until 10. But yeah, I remember that. And I remember just along with basically living together, I had a PS2 at the time, probably. Is that PS2?
Yeah.
You had a PS2, so I'd bring mine, and we would just set it up in different rooms. Your parents would go to work. We'd be there all day. We would just hammer out video games all day. Season of Madden a day. I mean, you wouldn't even really want to play, but there's nothing to do, so you're just playing.
Because we were bored. It wasn't like it is now where...
Yeah. I mean, that's back when we had to take turns to get on MSN Messenger.
Yeah. So one would be chatting, one would be gaming.
One would be chatting, one would be game Sims.
You went through your GameCube phase.
I had a GameCube. Yeah, I'd set that up in the kitchen, played Madden, and I don't think I ever won more than 3 games in a season on the GameCube. It was so hard. I had 2 or 3 games: Madden, Sonic, and
you had an NBA game, didn't you?
Maybe. GameCube was so hard. But yeah, that was good times. That's kind of my key. Always trying to watch a movie, never actually doing it. But we watched a lot of movies just in general.
We did, because you were the movie guy. Still are the movie guy.
Yeah.
You'd always bring over your taped over off of whatever channel.
DirecTV,
VHS. And eventually got into DVDs, but at that point it was more difficult to burn them, so you had to have.
Yeah.
We'd rent a lot. We'd rent a lot of movies.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point. FYE would be my favorite place to go.
That's true. You would get CDs.
Yeah, for your entertainment, FYE, and I'd go into the clearance bin and buy anything that I could find. I vividly remember trying to find Wild America because it was one of my favorite movies, and I did find it. I still have that today.
And then Spencer's. You used to get all sorts of trouble at Spencer's. You would buy some of the, like a strobe light, leopard lamp.
My mom was less than thrilled when I came home with those type of things.
There was a lot of random Spencers, but at the same time, I mean, growing up, you never went to the mall, so it was like a whole new experience.
It was crap. It went wild. I do remember we would always go to Greenwood, and I would go into the Champs and try to find Bengals stuff, and they would always have like an authentic Chad Johnson jersey for $110. And I would never be able to buy it. But it was just cool to see. I mean, they never had anything Bengals at Greenwood, but good times going to the mall.
And now, I mean,
are there malls?
Last time you went to a mall.
I don't know if there's still are malls, but that's good. I think that's a good recap of what we used to do. The fun we used to. Maybe we should start having some fun again.
Maybe we'll have something new to talk about.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start Streak for the Cashing. Is that still around?
I think it is.
It's January 4th. We can get 100 in this month, and we'll
probably could. As long as my biggest issue is as long as they tell you when your pick is over.
Yeah.
Because if you miss that or if you forget, you've wasted ample time for picks.
I think we're gonna try that. Me versus Adam. OA Sports, Streak for the Cash.
Probably won't get video of it out.
Yeah, then we'll just show you us.
Sort of swiping.
Yeah.
So now we gamble real money on sports, and it's way less fun.
I'm off of that right now. I'm kind of rough. That's probably a good spot to end it. Yeah. So, well, join us next time for the Nooner. We have a bunch of new equipment. Hope you like the new camera angles. I know you can't see them, but hopefully we look better. Maybe
Can't imagine.
I can't imagine either. So, well, that's it for this week. For Adam, I've been Luke, and thanks for listening
Thanks
to
for listening.
the Nooner.